Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I just wanted to talk about the fact that it's a brand new year and a brand new chance to learn a new instrument. So many of you have probably made that decision this year. This is the year I'm going to learn a new instrument. So I wanted to give you a few ways to make sure that that can happen for you and that you stay on the right track. I think the first thing you have to do is figure out why you even want to do it. Many people have different motivations for learning an instrument. And so I think you just need to figure out what the plan is. Do you want to play in a band? Do you want to play in church? Do you want to play just for your own entertainment or your family's entertainment? Do you want to have a career in music? What is your motivation? And just kind of keep that at the forefront as you start to learn. So start by knowing your why. Why are you learning the instrument? Number two is you need to find some time to practice. Carve that out of your schedule and make that a priority every day and every week. And that will help you in your journey. You can't just wing it and say, well, I'll take a couple lessons and then we'll see what happens. You need to make the commitment to actually sit down and practice day in and day out. Now, depending on what your why is, this can vary a lot. If you're just starting out, sometimes 10 to 20 minutes can just be enough just to develop the habit of sitting down every day and practicing for a little bit is better than nothing at all. And I even think that's better than practicing for an hour one day and then not practicing again till the next week and then practicing for an hour. Sometimes just the 10 minutes is fine as long as you're kind of developing that habit, developing that muscle. But if you are trying to become a concert pianist, maybe 4 to 6 hours a day is something that you might want to try. It all depends on what your goals are, and that's going to determine how much you practice, but you've got to carve out the time for it. Another thing you got to think about is whenever you do hit that slump, you might be going for a while, a few weeks, a few months without having any hiccups, and then you might forget a few days or even a week without practicing. My thing is just give yourself some grace and get back on the train, and don't just let it go a month or 2 or 3 without practicing. I've gone a week or so without practicing before, and you just kind of get to that point where you're burnt out. But give yourself that grace and get back on the train, and I know that you can still make it happen. But don't let that one little season be the determining factor. You can still get up on that horse and keep riding and keep learning your instrument and go on to the next level. The next thing is if you are wanting to learn the piano specifically, I actually have a course called Church Piano 101 that you can take. It's kind of designed to get you from not knowing anything about the piano to being able to play in front of people. I say to play in church if that's your goal. You can do that within just 10 lessons. It's kind of designed to get you from not playing at all to being able to play in church. That's kind of the goal for this course. There's 10 video lessons, and there's a lot of practice required in between, but there's so much information packed into that it can get you pretty far in just those 10 lessons. And I also do Zoom one-on-one lessons. So if this is something that you're interested in, click the link below to find out more information. Of course, I think the piano is a great instrument to learn, but I do like other instruments as well. So no matter what instrument you're learning, it can be a fun journey. My next tip would be to learn some music theory as well as just the notes of an individual song. Music theory is more of like the big picture of what's happening in music, other than just the notes and the specific chords to the specific song that you're learning. That's all good. And I almost would recommend, I even learned a few songs before I ever knew really what a chord even was when I was younger. So there's something to be said about learning to talk before you can read. And that's kind of what we'd say when we're learning to just play some songs before you actually really know what you're doing. And that's fine. But I say, as you start to learn some songs, take a step back and start to think about and learn and research music theory that may go along with the song. And this is kind of like the bigger picture of what's happening rather than just the specific notes. It's how they all interconnect together. They're not just random notes that are being selected. These are all weaving together in a certain way. And that's kind of the bigger picture and learning the music theory behind what's going on. So I'd say as you're in your journey, learn some music theory. And I think that really separates the great musicians from the musicians that play a little bit but don't really know what they're doing. I always think it's good to know what you're doing. And the last and biggest thing I think is consistency is key. I already talked about carving out the time, but really just making that a priority day in and day out is key. I just got done listening to the Jocko podcast. Jocko is a Navy SEAL, and he wrote a book called Discipline Equals Freedom. And so it's all talking about basically whatever you want in life is going to take discipline. It's going to take determination. To get the good things in life that you want to happen, it's going to take that discipline. So, you can apply this to whatever. You can apply it to learning a language. You can apply it to working out. You can losing weight, making money, or learning a new instrument. Whatever you're trying to do, it takes that discipline, it takes that consistency in order to get there. But if you just put that work in and day out and not let things in life that come up that are trying to get you off the path, but stay on the path in whatever you're trying to do, whether it's learning an instrument or anything else for that matter, And that discipline, that consistency is super key. Music is such a fun thing, and I think everyone should learn at least one instrument in their lifetime, or at least try to grasp it. Now, some people are going to learn it a little bit easier than others. Others might take a little bit more work, but I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. So let me know in the comments below, what instrument are you trying to learn this year? Me, I may be trying to learn a new instrument this year. One instrument that I'm going to maybe dabble around with is the cello. My wife has this old cello that her grandfather had, and it's sitting in my music room. So I may dabble around with that this year and maybe spend some time. Like I need to take my own advice a little bit every day, and maybe I can learn the cello. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.